to the Lord of the Rings Store Championship here at the Forge in Chaska, Minnesota. My name is Lance, and I am joined today by Connor. Connor, where are we at right now?
I believe we just finished up game 1, maybe 2 of round 1.
Okay.
It's like we had Jacob on. What's that one, right?
Jacob, our player in the Blue Life.
Jacob, our player on the Blue Life, looked to be playing a green-black sort of token deck from what we saw. And then our
David, our player on the right.
David, our player on the right, was playing Is It Spells.
Is It Spells?
Is It Spells.
Talk to me about some of the cards that we might be seeing out of these two players. Start with the Is It Spell list.
The Is It Spell, we saw a very good common, Rally at Hornburg. It is a sorcery speed, create
Some of the more of those creature synergies.
creature synergies. And it pairs very well with another card that we saw, which was...
Or are you talking about that blue combat trick he played?
Yes, Dreadful as the Storm is a instant, 2 and a blue mana, where a target creature has base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn, with ring attempts you staple onto it. It looks like the bulk, which means that your ring bearer cannot be blocked by creature, except by creatures that have greater power or lesser power.
Sure. All right, we see the third land from Jacob here.
Yeah, it looks like Jacob has all 3 of his colors. Looks like we have an Abzan deck, so white, green, black.
White, green, black. So that's Abzan. White, green, black?
Abzan is white, green.
Okay. I mean, you were saying Is It earlier. Is it blue, red?
Is the blue-red color combination.
Blue, red color.
Ravnica.
I mean, what's this creature that David just played?
It's like blue.
Looks like an elf, maybe?
So yeah, it looks like we have the far creature, the one closer to his deck, is Greyhaven's Navigator. So it is a 3 CMC, 2 and a blue creature elf pilot with flash. And when it enters the battlefield, scry 1.
Looks like he's moving to combat. Swung for 3.
For 3 damage. And
Second main.
Second main phase. Cast another blue spell. I don't
Was that Lorien Revealed?
No, that is not Lorien Revealed. That one? Is it? Oh, it is Lorien. Draw 3 cards, and that one's the island. Has island cycling, so you can pay 1, discard it to search your library for a basic island card, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shuffle.
We got Jacob casting what looks like a giant bird.
Not the giant bird, though.
Looks like he spent 5 mana for said giant bird.
5 mana, said giant bird. We have looks like a Landroval, Horizon Witness. Legendary 5 mana, so 4 and a white. Legendary creature, bird, noble, flying. Whenever 2 or more creatures you control attack a player, target attacking creature without flying gains flying until end of turn. Just got bounced back to hand.
I believe so. We're going to combat again with the Greyhaven's Navigator, swinging in for 3. Looks like we're back over to Jake, plays a land for turn.
Pelgar Survivors. His other creature on the board.
Seeing 3 mana being tapped. Oh, changing our colors? Nope. 2 mana.
2 mana.
4 mana? Is that the legendary creature? Is that
Sheila? No.
Old Man Willow?
I believe so. Power equal to the number of creatures in your graveyard.
Power equal to the number of creatures in a graveyard.
In a graveyard. Does it have to be your graveyard? So Old Man Willow's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control.
Looks like we got tempted again.
Tempted.
Moving to another creature on Jacob's board.
Oh, the other creature that he had on his board was the Manador, the blue Manadork. Taps for mana, but only mana for instants or sorceries. It is not great.
I see David tapping 4. Looks like Eric Brand.
Eric Brand.
What does Eric Brand do? Oh, we're moving to combat. We're going fast here.
Moving straight to combat. Let's see. So Eric Brand is whenever Eric Brand, Lord of Westerfold, or another human enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So a good damage chunk there.
Sure, it looks like David just inflicted 6 damage to Jacob's life total.
Dropping him down to 8.
I see a 7th land coming out from Jacob. He's going to have to try to find a way out of this.
Looks like he's kind of flooding and not really having a ton of resources. Tapping 5. Play a slip it.
What was it that David just did to Jacob there? Looks like maybe he tapped down that creature.
Looks like it. One of the blue instants in this set. Is this potential lethal that we're looking at?
Well, David did just play Neverland, moves to combat, swings out.
Swings out. So did not play a human, notably, but should be
Down to 1. This might just be David's game here.
Might just be. Need some food tokens or some way to replays a creature.
I see a Saruman, is that right?
Yes, should be Saruman the White. Yep, that one is Saruman the White. That one has Ward 2, 4/4. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, amass Orcs 2. Put 2+1/+1 counters on an army you control. It is also an Orc. If you don't control an army, create a 0/0 black Orc army creature token first. And it looks like you're scooping it up.
Scooping it up. All right, win goes to David.
Yes, David wins in 2.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us here at the Forge Store Championship for Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth, a Magic the Gathering set. My name's Lance, and I'm joined here by Connor.
Howdy.
Connor, what did you think about that first game that we got to watch?
It is very fast. Really can show off the speed of the format.
Yep.
A lot of aggro. You can have a lot of aggro, a lot of low to the ground creatures. Just kind of swarm the board,
Sure.
and some of your big chunky guys can't get in.
With kind of swarming the board, does the format have a few sweepers?
Not that I'm aware of, actually.
Okay. So then how would you get past that board stall?
Targeted removal. There's a lot of targeted removal in this
A lot of
set.
targeted, okay. What's your favorite so far that we've seen?
My favorite targeted removal has to be Lash of the Balrog.
Sure, what does Lash of the Balrog do?
So Lash of the Balrog is a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature or pay 4 colorless mana, and just reads destroy target creature.
Okay. That's not too bad. That works pretty well, actually.
Oh yeah, it's good to deal with a variety of problems if you need to.
Okay.
It can really help get you there, you know?
What are some of the other circumstances where you might want to remove some of these creatures? Like what kind of effects are we on the lookout for?
Looking at one of the big ones for black, Mirkwood Bats is a card I would normally classify as a kill on site in this format. It is a 4 mana 3/2 or 2/3 bat with flying. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life. A lot of the good effects have token generation stapled onto them.
Oh, okay. So that's something we should be on the lookout for is token
Absolutely.
generation effects.
Token generation effects. You're making food tokens, human tokens. Those are the 2 big ones in this set.
Okay. What makes a token different from a permanent? Let's start there.
So tokens aren't in your deck.
Okay.
They get generated by effects in your deck.
Sure.
Like, for example, very good uncommon, Rosy Cotton of Southwood. When it enters the battlefield, create a food token.
Okay. Well, that sounds really tasty, but what can I do with food tokens?
So food tokens, you can pay 2 mana, tap them, sacrifice this artifact, and gain 3 life.
That doesn't seem bad, right? It's limited, right? We have 20 life. Gaining 3 seems pretty good.
So it's good if you're getting chumped down by a lot of cheap 1/1s.
Okay.
Or one of these, a bunch of signpost white cards a bunch of white cards allow you to do various other things with food. For example, we'll look at Nimble Hobbit.
Okay.
It is a 1/2, or I'm sorry, it is a 2 mana 1/3
2 mana, 1/3.
creature halfling peasant.
A peasant. Okay. Yeah.
peasant.
What else does it do?
When it attacks, you may sacrifice a food or pay 2 and a white. When you do, tap target creature and opponent controls.
Oh, okay. So that way you can kind of get in past their blockers,
Get it
right?
past their blockers, exactly. Or you can use Build a Pony to sacrifice a food and have a creature you control deal combat damage with its toughness rather than its power.
Okay, so in what situations would you want that to happen? What makes a creature better to deal damage with its toughness rather than its power?
If its toughness is massive.
Okay.
Like Build a Pony is a 1/4.
Sure.
But by sacrificing a food, it becomes effectively a 4/4.
That's a drastic change. That's kind of hard to kind of play around, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can do it for that example, specific example, you can do that at instant speed.
Okay.
So if your opponent's declaring up blockers and you happen to have food tokens laying around, you can just punch through for extra damage.
That's really convenient.
Exactly.
What
Reading
other kind of targets that would we have for something like that?
for like swapping power and toughness?
Yeah.
Or?
Anything else that we should be on the lookout for? Is Build a Pony something that we're going to be seeing a lot, do you think?
I feel like white is a very strong deck in this format.
Okay.
So I would say that white is probably one of the strongest. White and red are some of the stronger colors in this.
Okay.
So I would expect to see a lot of either one of those two. I think in a vacuum, green is the strongest.
Sure.
But since you're incentivized to play multicolor in this limited format, I think that you have better benefits for.
What incentivizes you to run monocolor versus 2 or more colors? Maybe we should start there.
So for me personally, I think if your card pool is not good enough for one specific color,
Okay.
then I definitely don't want to be playing like bad in air quotes. I don't want to necessarily be playing bad cards. If I have the opportunity to go into a second color to play like some really good just removal spells.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, green is. I think that I agree with what Alex Bowman said. I think that green is the best color in a vacuum. I think that the combinations of like white and red or red black or white black or white green.
Sure. So what you're saying is that in a vacuum like a set, which is what this is. So in just this set, the best thing is green by far.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I wouldn't say by far. I'd say it's definitely up there.
All right. So what would be your top? Give me your top 5 combinations here, and in any combinations, mono, double, triple, all 5. I don't know.
I think that my favorite, maybe
Power-wise.
Power-wise, I think that probably the best is red white.
Red white is the best power-wise.
I think that red white is the best power-wise.
Okay.
You get all the good token creation from white and red. You get the foods, you get the humans.
I know we talked about Rosie, but what are some of the other effects that you're seeing that are making these other tokens that you're very high on?
So Build a Pony creates tokens.
Okay.
He creates food tokens.
Oh, so just like Rosie, he also makes food.
Just like Rosie, except he makes 2 on ETB instead of just 1 like Rosie does.
What's ETB?
Enter the battlefield. So
Okay.
when like this creature enters the battlefield, it does anything.
Oh, okay. So like, let's say and it's cast, right? That's what we.
Exactly. When it
Okay.
is cast.
So when
it doesn't necessarily need to be cast to enter the battlefield, though.
Oh, okay.
Right. If you could return it from a graveyard, or
Is there cards that do that?
there's one in particular that comes to mind.
What's the one that comes to mind for you?
It is the black-green uncommon, Rise of the Witch King.
Sure. Tell me about it.
So whenever when you cast the spell, each player or each opponent sacrifices a creature.
Okay. Well, that's pretty good. That helps break those board souls that you were talking about earlier.
Sorry, let me amend that. Each player sacrifices a creature, so it forces you to do this as well if you can.
Okay.
If you sacrifice a creature this way, you may return another permanent card from your graveyard to your battlefield. Does not necessarily need to be a creature.
Can you bring back the same creature with that effect then?
Absolutely.
Okay. For people at home who might not know why is that?
What do you mean?
What lets you bring back that same creature? Because I guess if I was just say I didn't ever play this game before, I would think that effect means that I can't bring that creature back. What lets me do that?
So it's the way that it's ordered, right?
Oh, okay.
Because you have to, because sacrificing is part of the, I'm not going to say cost, because you can cast it without needing to sacrifice. But you can sacrifice, you do the sacrificing first.
Sure.
So then when the next part of the spell is checked, if you sacrificed a creature this way,
Okay.
it looks in your graveyard and it sees like, here are all the creatures that are there currently.
Yep.
And let's say that Samwise Gamgee is the creature that you sacrificed.
Okay.
You could return Samwise Gamgee back to the battlefield.
Sure. You know, is that because we try to resolve the full text then? Is that why? So do we start from the top to the bottom of the text?
Yep.
Okay.
The spell will all resolve at once,
Okay.
but it goes.
But if it resolves all at once, how do we get the creature back that we're sacking?
It goes in parts. State-based
Okay.
These are like state-based actions, and I'm not great at identifying all of those. But yeah, so there's a lot of good cards. A lot of good cards. I think that back to the discussion on top 5 color combinations. I think that red-white is the best.
So we're still in red white. Okay, so red white's still the best. You heard it here, folks. Connor, red white the best.
Now, with that being disclaimer, I'm a bad limited player. I'm not good at limited.
Are you sure?
I like to think so.
Okay.
My record is.
What does the history say?
The history of my last, we'll say 5 drafts, seems like a good sample size.
That's more than one.
That is more than one. I went 1-2, 1-2, 0-3, 2-1, and then 1-2.
You're right. That doesn't add up to a lot. That's what, 6 and 12?
6-12.
Okay, it's about 50%. We take a 50, right?
I mean, I prefer 51 though, so it's like.
Prefer 51 though. Okay, to push that number up higher, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Got to push those numbers. Those are rookie numbers. So I think that white red's the best. Then I think that black white is probably the second best.
Black white. Okay, so we got white red and black white.
Black white just has a lot of token generation and a lot of payoffs for creating set tokens.
So it sounds like because both red white and black white have a lot of token generation, that's what's making them so strong from what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or I think that they generate good tokens. And I think that human tokens are extremely good. Putting power on board
Sure.
at the cost of just casting the spells
Okay.
is extremely good. It's extremely strong. and I think that anything that you can do to use those spells is just, or use those tokens in ways that are beneficial to you. Like, for example, Improvised Club.
Sure.
1 in a red as an additional cost, sacrifice a creature or artifact. Deal 4 damage to any target.
Okay.
Kills most of the creatures in the set as well. So extremely strong red card.
Okay. What else is extremely strong? Like, removal wise. So we said Lash of the Balrog.
Lash of the Balrog is really
Improvised Club.
good.
'Cause that was the card you were just reading, right?
Yep, Improvised Club was the card we were just reading. I think that the pseudo murder in this set is really strong as well.
Okay. Evan, actually, if you don't mind me asking, so Canuck's talking about a mass. What does a mass mean?
So a mass is when, so for the exact wording of a mass, so let's say we're amassing Orcs 1. You put a 1/1 counter, a +1/+1 counter on an army you control. It is also an orc in this
Okay.
in mass orcs.
So I have like an army orc. Is that what my creature would be?
Yep, it'd be an orc army.
Okay.
And if you don't control an army, or first create a 0/0 black orc creature army token.
Sure.
So a mass is just any card, in my opinion, that has a mass stapled onto it, or create a food token, create a human. Those are generally really good.
Just because, like you're kind of going back to, is because we're making so many of these tokens and we have so many ways to have effects that see these token generations or these consumptions of these tokens,
Exactly.
that ends up being a really good payoff as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And like their artifact, like food tokens are artifacts as well. So if you have any artifact synergies, you can do stuff with that. Human tokens are humans. So if you have human synergy, you can do that.
Is there a lot of human synergy in the set?
Humans is actually one of the main tribes in this set,
Okay.
or types in the set.
Sure. What makes like a tribe or a type like a main part of the set?
If you have a lot of support for it.
Okay.
So there's a lot of cards that read humans you control get +1/+0, or create 2 humans you control gain haste until end of turn. Whenever a human enters the battlefield under your control, get an effect.
Do you have like one in particular that you're thinking of?
I think Rising of the Day is a really good card.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me about it. I'd love to hear.
So Rising of the Day, creatures you control have haste, and legendary creatures you control get +1/+0. So not exactly a human not exactly a mainly human card, but I think that my favorite human in the set, my favorite common uncommon. I don't really look at rares too much because you're going to see very few of them.
So less
only
likely to get them, right?
Exactly. You're only guaranteed to get about 3. Yes, Horn of Gondor is probably one of the I'd say probably one of the best cards.
Okay. Yeah. If Canuck's high on it, tell me about it. I'd love to hear.
Yeah, Horde of Gondor is insane. It is a 3-mana artifact, 3-mana legendary artifact.
3-mana legendary artifact.
When Horn of Gondor enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token.
Okay.
And then it's got an activated ability where you can pay 3 mana and tap it, create X 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens, where X is the number of humans you control.
Okay.
So you can really get an exponential growth.
Sure.
Kind of going with that.
So like start with like, let's say we have like 1 human, then all of a sudden we go to 2 and
Activate
4.
Horn, you would get 1 more, so you'd get 2. You activate Horn again, you'd get 4. Exactly.
Okay. So then you kind of swarm the board very fast.
Exactly. It becomes something that your opponents must answer with like a mass board wipe, which there aren't really any in this set. Not that I can think of. There's one, but I don't really think of it as something that I'm likely to encounter.
Sure. Is that because they want you to play more of like a combat-oriented approach, do you think? Is that why they kind of removed some of those more mass board wipe effects?
Exactly. I think that this limited format is faster than some of the other ones that we've seen.
Sure.
Not as fast as like the prior set or March of the Machine. No, March of the Machine was pretty slow.
All right.
Phyrexial will be one. That was an extremely fast format.
Okay, so because when formats are faster, does that mean that we tend to see less wipes then?
You tend to see less wipes, and you tend to see more low to the ground value.
When you say value, can you explain a little bit more what you mean by that?
So in my eyes, value is whenever you get at least 2 things out of a card. So we'll look at Many Partings.
Sure.
It is a green sorcery. Too far down. So Many Partings. It is just a single green mana for sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand. So that would be really good in and of itself because it's fixing. Gets you if you're playing multiple types, if you're playing multiple like basic land types, you can get your other colors for your deck, or you can get another. You can guarantee another land drop, which
Okay.
is just very good on a 1 mana spell. But it also reads create a food token.
What are some of the reasons for why we want to make sure we hit those extra land drops?
Being able to cast our spells on curve is really good. I think is really very important. If I have a hand of like 3 and 4 drops, I want to make sure that I'm hitting 3 lands, hitting 4 lands. So,
Why 3 and 4 specifically? Is that just because that's where we're seeing a lot of the power of the set at?
those were just the 2 numbers I thought of right away.
That's a great answer. I wouldn't have known.
I think that there's some really good commons and uncommons.
Okay.
I think that probably one of my favorite red commons is going to be Rorhim Lancer.
What does that do?
So it is a creature. So it's just 1 red mana for a 1/1 creature human knight. It has menace. So this creature cannot be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. And then when it dies, the ring tempts you.
What? So I know we were kind of touching a little bit on it during David and Jacob's match. Can you explain a little bit more about what the ring tempts you does?
So the ring tempts you is one of the new mechanics for Lord of the Rings. It's got 4 stages. The first stage is your ring bearer is legendary, can be blocked by creatures with greater power. The second stage is whenever your ring bearer attacks, you draw a card, then discard a card. Stage 3 is whenever your ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature.
Sure.
That creature's controller sacrifices it at the end of combat. And then the final chapter or stage is when your ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life.
Well, I think I might lose some life if we don't take a quick break. So if you guys don't mind, we'll be right back.
Championship. Lord of the
Round
Rings.
2.
Round 2.
Okay.
We are in the second round.
What happened in round 1?
Is it spells? Took round 1 versus Abzan tokens.
Abzan tokens. Okay. Very cool. I am Daniel Sweet-like LaRusso, and I'm here with Johnny Discount Lawrence to bring you round 2 of tonight's Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth Store Championship here at The Forge. It looks like both of our players are getting ready. They're resolving mulligans.
Looks like our player on the left, Alex Bowman, has mulliganed down to 6.
Okay. Why would you mulligan down to 6?
Not enough lands, not enough spells.
Oh, okay.
Lack of card quality.
I
If you think that you can get a better 6, it's worth mulligan.
And it looks like he's got 2 lands in this hand. Do you think he's going to keep this one?
I think that you don't really want to go down further in limited.
Okay.
And it looks like we got a Lembas in hand. So.
Sounds good. And it looks like the match is about to get underway.
All right. So Alex Bowman is turn player, plays a forest and passes.
And that brings us over to James.
James playing a swamp pass.
Okay. So got green. Well, it looks like maybe even mono green.
Mono green potentially from Alex Bowman.
Looks like he played a creature,
So yeah, it does look like it.
like a 2/2 creature maybe.
I believe so.
It was
I believe
2 mana.
It's one of the scry. It looks like it's Lauren Lookout. Whenever it attacks, scry 1/3.
Oh, okay. Well, 1/3 is not bad. That's a big butt.
1/3 is good body. But however, it does have the downside of you want to be attacking with this card.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Alex is in mono green currently. And okay, so he is going to combat scrying 1.
Sure. With having that bigger toughness, that make it easier to swing in with.
Makes it easier to swing in with, but you're not necessarily incentivized to block
Because you won't kill
because
it.
because you won't kill it.
All right.
And all right, second main, Alex played a
Looks like another green creature.
yeah, Mirror Guardian. It is a 4/2. Whenever it dies, the ring tempts you.
All right. What does James have going on?
James has 2 swamps, a mountain obviously, and a red creature.
See him tap in 3 mana.
See him tap in 3. It's like he's casting a Claim the Precious, and a murder equivalent.
Okay. And murder is destroy target creature, I take
Destroy
it?
target creature.
Is this a ring mechanic I heard about that we were
Absolutely.
talking about last game?
Yeah, rings. The ring has tempted him. It looks
Okay.
like.
And you were saying there were steps to it. How do you advance through the steps?
Whenever the ring tempts you, you get another chapter, I guess.
Okay. And it looks like James tapped in for 2 damage.
Absolutely. Looks like he is playing a 2-power creature, and so cannot be blocked by creatures with greater power. So if Alex plays anything with 3 power, can no longer block that, as long as it remains his ring bearer.
Sure. Looks like Alex moved to combat, swinging.
Swinging for 1. Decides he likes what he sees on top. It's just passive.
Well, we see Alex played a island too, so it looks like he's not just mono green, he's actually green blue.
Yeah, he's the color combination known as Simic. And he played a creature when it ETBs Scry 2.
That seems pretty good. So, seeing he has like a lot of scry synergy. Is that a thing in this format?
That is. Scrying is the, I suppose, theme of the green blue deck.
Okay. And scrying is you'll just look at it and you can leave it on top or put it on the bottom?
Exactly. If you like it, keep it on top. If you don't like it, put it in the bottom. 2 cards remaining in hand for Mr. Bowman. And the creature that he played is a 3/4 for those at home.
That's a big stat line.
Absolutely. It's a chunky blocker. However, cannot block his ring bearer.
All right, James is swinging in for 2.
Alex takes 2. So James is in second main phase. Let's see. He's deciding if he's going to cast
4.
perhaps 4. Is a
That Grand,
I do
the
believe that
Gatebreaker?
Grond the Gatebreaker, legendary vehicle.
It's a battering ram, right?
I do, yeah. Yeah, that is Grond the Gatebreaker. It is a legendary artifact vehicle, trample as long as it's your turn and you control an army. Grond the Gatebreaker is an artifact creature, and it's got crew 3.
What was that spell that Alex just played? I think that one's pretty good, right? I thought you remember you told me something about card draw being very important.
Card draw is very important, and that one is Elven Chorus. Looks like, yeah, that. So Alex has played the enchantment Elven Chorus. It is a rare, the first rare we've seen all day, actually.
Just the first one?
It's the first one.
Sure, what does it do?
So, you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library, and creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color.
I'm guessing that's how I got that spider down, right?
Yes.
Played off the top of its library.
Playing it off the top.
For those at home watching, Alex did swing in and brought James down from 18 to 16.
Yes.
Going back to James, let's see what happens.
Alex did notably miss a land drop. He did not play a 5th land.
Okay, so yep. So we were talking about that earlier. You kind of want to be able to find those lands so you don't have that happening, right?
Absolutely. However, with the Elven Chorus, it's not as big of a deal because all of his creatures now tap for mana.
Oh,
So he played a
I think that was something where the creature he targeted deals damage to another target creature,
yes, good good uncommon.
and because that spider, I think it must have had Death Touch, right?
I believe so.
Okay, so
Or
because
it's
he
just a
dealt
big
damage
body.
with Death Touch, is that why the creature died?
Yes.
That's an interesting interaction.
Where is that card? Somewhere in here. Breaking of the Fellowship.
Oh, hey, there's that Lancer you were talking about. Isn't that the card you were excited about?
I do love this card.
What was so good about this?
It's a menace. It's a 1/1 with menace. So
Okay.
it can't be blocked by 2 or more creatures. And when it dies, ring tempts you. So that'll get both our players onto later stages of their ring synergy.
Okay. Well, I mean, it looks like Alex did find another land, so he's
Yep.
found his 5th one.
So he's up to 5. So with access to 7 total mana.
7?
7, because both his creatures can tap for mana.
Oh, that's
off
really
of the-
interesting.
Off of the Elven Chorus.
Oh, that's right. The rare you were talking about. So it was your creatures can tap for mana. You can play creatures off the top of your library. For those at home, Alex is swinging in.
Yep, and then on the attack trigger, he got to scry. So hit him for 1. Let's see here. Lembas. It's bread.
So would you say classify bread as food in this format?
So this card is actually is a food. It is an artifact food.
Okay.
So Lembas is a 2-mana artifact. When it ETBs, scry 1, then draw a card.
Which Alex took into his hand just now.
And then you can pay 2, tap, sacrifice Lembas, gain 3 life, just like every other food.
Sure.
And Lembas has, whenever it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, its owner shuffles it into their library.
Oh, okay. So a little bit of a way to keep your deck floating, right?
Exactly.
Because
Got
we,
some recursion.
we run into issues where if you deck yourself, right?
Yep.
Okay. Very
Doesn't
cool.
happen often in limited, but can.
So Alex played an enchantment on James's creature. What was that enchantment doing? Does it stop it from untapping? Because it looks like James's
Yes.
turn happened and his creature is still tapped.
Yep. It taps the creature and then I believe it taps the creature and then prevents it from untapping.
Okay, very cool. That's probably pretty good in a limited format.
Absolutely. Those cards are always good in limited.
James is tapping 1 red, 1 black. Thinking. Does he have removal? No, he's untapping the lands. He's deciding not to play.
Deciding not to play. What card do you think could be in his hand right now? Bewitching Leechcraft is the card that Alex has.
The enchantment.
Enchantment.
It's that improvised club you're talking about. That's pretty good removal, right?
Club. Oh yeah,
So because he couldn't attack and untap of that creature, that's probably a good use of that club, right?
absolutely. Get rid of a card that has no value to you, and Liam is saying that you need to remove a +1/+1 counter from the creature to untap it with Leechcraft.
Okay, very cool. And because his creatures wouldn't ever have counters, as of right now, it didn't make sense to leave it on the field.
Absolutely.
Okay. James is tapping 5 mana,
Yes.
or 3 more mana, sorry. He did play 2 earlier for improvised club. Changes opinion. Move to combat with the Rahorim Lancer.
Menace.
Gets in for 1.
Gets in for 1. Oh, he's got the gate. Looks like. Oh no, Sam's Deadly Rescue is in the graveyard right now, or card right up there. Sure, it's supposed to be in the yard.
It looks like James just played another red creature. He had one of these out here earlier. What was it?
So yeah, let me find that. See here. Oh, it's right here. So he played a Battlescarred Goblin.
Okay.
So it is a 2/2. It's 1 in a red for a 2/2. Whenever Battlescarred Goblin becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to each creature blocking it.
1 damage to each creature blocking it. Well, it looks like Alex just played that Wolf's Pathfinder we were
Wolf's
talking about
Pathfinder.
during the break.
Exactly, a card that you are very high on.
I just think cards where you can accrue value in the long game just have such a high importance in something like limited. I think they call that cycle of abilities invokers. Is that right? Where you
Yes.
tap a lot of mana for an effect.
Exactly.
Okay. Because again, games tend to go on a little bit longer, right?
Oh yeah. So Alex is tapping 2, playing an enchantment. Plays a Lost Isle Calling.
Sure. Well, the island is calling. Is it at Treasure Island though?
It is a potential extra turn.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you scry, put a verse counter on Lost Isle Calling, and then you can pay 4 blue, exile it, draw a card for each verse counter on Lost Isle Calling. If it has 7 more verse counters, it takes take an extra turn after this, and you can only activate it as a sorcery.
And Alex did tap down his creature. It looks like he went into combat, maybe.
Yep. To guarantee that scry, so he's got the first scry on there.
All right.
And this can be a potential very large swing. Yeah, love Lost Isle in a scry deck. It's such a good card. Looks like he's blocking with a goblin. That way they just kind of bounce off.
Okay. Yep. So, but then why did James still take 1 damage?
Oh, he couldn't. He couldn't block
because the creature has more power. Okay, very cool. Oh, that ring tempting mechanic you're talking about. Interesting. So, with things like that, where you have small creatures, are you incentivized to put your ring tempt on those creatures?
I like to think that you should put it on your smaller creatures.
Okay. When is it too small though?
I think that obviously I wouldn't put it on a 0/1.
Sure. Real quick, it looks like James went to combat and swung in, and Alex is now at 10 life.
Yes, Alex chose not to block. Yeah, chose not to block, looks like. Let's see. And notably, James is on chapter 3 of The Ring Tempts You.
Okay.
Actually, no, I believe he's on chapter 4.
Oh, really?
He's on chapter 3. Yeah, he's on chapter 3. So whenever your ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacks it at the end of combat, but he also has that loot effect. Whenever your ring bearer attacks, draw a card, then discard a card.
Well, that seems pretty good.
And having your ring bearer on the menace creature has to be blocked by 2 creatures, forces it 2 creatures to be sacked.
So like even if you have higher power, because your creature has menace, if they can't block with enough creatures, it won't matter.
Exactly.
That seems pretty good.
Oh, absolutely.
Tapping the Wolf's Pathfinder for mana.
Like playing a Nimrodrol Watcher. Whenever you scry, that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It can't be blocked this turn, but only triggers 1 to each turn on a 2/1 body.
Is it +1/+1 until end of turn, you said?
+1/+0 until end of turn.
+1/+0. And the reason why it's not permanent is because it's not a counter being put on the creature. Is that right?
It's just a static effect.
Okay. That's interesting. I'm happy to see that there's variations like that in this game.
Absolutely.
Looks like James is playing a red sorcery to get a creature token.
Looks like he is amassing 2.
Amass 2. All right, like you were talking about earlier, amass is that army generator token.
Yep, you create a token, then you put +1/+1 counters on it. Looks like you played foray of orcs there.
Like they're going on a journey kind of foray. Well, with that in mind, James is moving to combat, swinging out.
And he does get to swing with the vehicle now because of he's got an army.
Oh, so it's just an artifact
so it's now
creature.
Just an artifact creature. It is no longer just
so
an artifact.
no longer has to crew it.
Exactly. Good way to get around the crew mechanic.
But is the crew mechanic something we're going to see a lot of in this set?
No, not really. There's like very few vehicles.
All right. Looks like Alex is assigning 2 blockers to Gron, the Gatebreaker.
Yep. That should be enough to... So, yeah, both of Alex's guys are going to die.
All right.
But he saves himself 5 life, which is very important.
And then Alex is down to 9, it looks like.
Yep, 9 to 13.
That's pretty good.
So Alex is untapping, found a second island.
Is island in Island?
It is a land.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. Right. Alex is tapping down his creature, or moving to combat, attacking, it looks like. Gain a scry.
Gets a scry, so gets another reverse counter.
That's 1. Alex is starting to look a little like he might be in some rough shape here.
However, he has 4 verse counters. Once he gets to 7, he does get an entire extra turn and 7 card draws.
Oh, draw 7.
It's draw 7, take an extra turn.
Isn't that what you start your game with, is 7 cards in hand?
Yes.
Right.
Alex did start at a disadvantage. He did mulligan down to 6.
So it might be a good incentive for him to hit that so that he can play like he just started.
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. Looks like we're identifying some decisions here with the scry effect.
He's just able to check off the top of his library because the
Oh, the Elvish Chorus you were
The
talking
Elvish
about.
Chorus, exactly.
Very cool. He's got a card in hand. He's mulling something over.
He's thinking. Both players only have one card in hand, so another
Bewitching Leechcraft, right?
Bewitching Leechcraft.
That's going to take that goblin out of commission.
Absolutely. And he's going to pass up the turn. So we do have to remember Alex is effectively at 12 life, though. As long as he holds open 2 mana. Because he does have that Lembas still on the field
Oh, okay, because he can gain that life at any time.
at instant speed. Oh, yeah. Which makes it still very good.
Okay, and you said it's 2 mana to do?
2 mana to activate. So it looks like Alex has 4 mana open.
Ooh, is that the Balrog?
That is the Balrog. The Balrog is a Rakdos creature.
All right, looks like James is swinging. 3 creatures being tapped.
Swinging the squad. Let's see.
Alex is putting the Wost Pathfinder in front of the army.
Goes down to 1.
Alex goes from 9 to 1. Connor, that's a giant life swing.
It's a pretty large swing, I would say. So yeah, the Balrog costs 1 less for each permanent sec. So it's a hasty 7/5.
Oh, okay. Can it block?
Can't be blocked except by legendary creatures.
Oh, so Alex would have to block it with his Ring Bearer? Is that right? Because you said the Ring
Yes.
Bearers are legendary.
Yep, the first chapter makes it into a legendary.
Okay, what are the
Alex is cracking his Lembas
to gain back
up
some life?
going back up to 4.
Okay, now what makes a creature legendary?
If it has a legendary super type.
Okay, and super type is kind of one of those things like creatures, lands, enchantments, and artifacts.
Exactly. Legendary is a super type for those.
Oh,
Just looking at the top card, and he's going to his turn.
all right. Untaps, upkeeps, draws.
In the top. Here.
I think I saw a Stew of Conies in Alex's hand.
Problem is the Balrog is madness that he kind of has 1 turn to deal with.
Because he's dead on this next
Because
swing.
he's dead. Oh yeah.
All right.
If he doesn't kill the Balrog, he's dead.
Interesting. He's looking at the top of his library, see if he's got a play.
He's thinking it over. He's mulling it over. Do the convoys.
Tapping 5.
To cast from the top of his library.
Ooh, I have not seen that card yet. What is that
I
card?
have not seen that card either. It looks like a fun one. Blue card that looks like it's letting him scry. So it looks like it is a Willow Wind. It is a 3/4 flying. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2.
Oh. Scry 2 is pretty nice. Especially right now, you want to dig deeper, right?
Exactly. You want to try and find something. So it looks like he should have actually. It looks like he missed a trigger there. Should have scryed. Should be up to 6 counters because he was previously at 4.
On his Lost Isle
On
calling.
his Lost Isle calling. So missing that extra scry could be big. Letter of invitation. Oh, ring tempts you. And it looks like that should actually just be Alex is just dead. Because yeah, at 4 life, because he's at stage 4 of the ring tempts you now. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to an opponent,
They lose 3.
lose 3 life.
Okay. So they're doing you could call it a loot effect?
Yep. Because you're not gaining any card advantage.
Okay. Yep, they're skimming it up, going to game 2.
Game 2 in this series. We'll see if any of them sideboard, and not normally something that you do in limited.
Okay. Why would you want a sideboard?
To shore up your unfavorable matchups.
All right. And as of right now, so Alex went first in
Yep.
game 1. Going into game 2, are we able to presume he's going to go first again?
Absolutely. Going first is just such an advantage in Magic. You can see players looking at the cards that they have potentially.
What makes it such an advantage to go first?
You get to do your lands. You get to play your lands, play your spells before your opponents get to.
Oh, okay. So like if I wanted to play like a 1-drop creature right away, I get to do that.
Yeah, like a
Does
1-drop goblin with haste or something, you'd get to swing in right away.
Okay. And then even if my opponent plays a land and it does nothing, I can still swing with that creature next turn without.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Because I went first.
Exactly. Going first is just, it's so important. Being able to do your things before your opponent.
Is that something we want? Yeah, we want to do stuff for our opponents, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I personally love games of Magic where I'm doing stuff and my opponents are not.
Doesn't seem super fun.
Some people like to win.
Okay. Beauty in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly.
I heard beholder's a creature type now and then.
Beholder is a creature type. Shout out to Adventures in the Forgotten Realms.
Okay. Is that another kind of like property, or is that?
Yes, it belongs to the I think also technically the Wizards of the Coast.
Surely.
Because it's Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. I remember playing that when I was a kid.
I remember playing it here at the Forge in Chaska.
Oh. When do you guys get around to do that? Do you still do that?
I still I like to play whenever I get an opportunity to.
Okay.
I have a group that I play with on Wednesdays.
Oh.
It's a very fun time.
Our players are
Shuffling up. Looks like they're
dealing their 7.
Looking at their opening 7, seeing what they got. So it looks like they decided both to keep.
Alex is playing a force for turn.
Plays a land, passes. The mountain into the fist bump for the start of the game. Into that 1-drop knight. It's just such a good card.
So this is the one with Menace, right?
Yes, this is the one with Menace, and then when it dies, the ring tempts you.
And then Alex drops a Wolf's Pathfinder.
So he's going to have access to 4 mana on his turn 3. That's good value, good rate.
4 mana because he probably has a land in hand and his creature can tap for mana.
Yeah, he'll have access to it.
Okay. Rojo Rim Lancer attacks, bring Alex down to 19.
Swings for 1. All right. Looks like Alex is playing a Scry 3 on this sorcery.
Scry 3 seems pretty deep.
You'll look 3 cards deeper and have access to effectively 4, because even if you don't like any of those 3, you still get to restructure it so you have access to the top card of your library.
Okay. Now, how big are our libraries? Is the library the deck of cards you play with?
Exactly. Yep. So you have access to. So in limited, your minimum has to be 40.
Ooh, so did he have to reveal the creature as part of the effect of that card?
Yes. As part of the resolution of the card, he'd have to reveal it.
Oh, and I saw it looked like it had 2 colors. I saw a little blue, a little white.
Yeah.
Or a little green.
A little green. Yeah. It looks like. I believe that was a Legolas Counter of Kills, actually.
Oh, okay, very cool. And then it looks like Alex played that 3/2 elf.
Yes.
That Maro Gondrian.
4/2 halfling.
4/2. That is huge.
Stats on that are insane.
All right, James is tempting his creature. The Rowan Lancer swings in, deals 1.
Deals 1. Drops Alex down to 18.
Plays that Legolas, right?
That one should be Legolas Counter of Kills.
All right. Looks like it has reach from what I can read from here.
Yep. Let's see here. Let me pull up Legolas, because that is a fun card for the Scry deck.
Looks like Alex is explaining the Legolas' ability to James.
Yep. So, 4 mana 2/3 reach whenever you scry. If Legolas Counter of Kills is tapped, you may untap it. Do this only once each turn. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Legolas.
Like just now.
So Alex is tempted by the ring.
Okay.
So he gets to choose who he wants to be his ring bearer.
Does he have incentive to not choose Legolas since his power keeps climbing?
And you could make your Pathfinder legendary. However, I think since Alex is going to be doing a lot of combat with Legolas, you're going to want to get to some of the later chapters, like attack triggers, becoming blocked by a creature, and then dealing combat damage. All those are, obviously, like I said, combat orientated.
Okay, so there is some incentive to putting your ring bearer ring mechanic on a bigger creature.
Yes, exactly.
All right, James is moving to combat, swinging for 1 with Menace.
With Menace, and because he's at chapter 2 of the ring tempting you, he gets to draw a card. Or loot he gets to loot away a card.
And loot away is...
You get to draw a card and then discard a card.
Okay, discarding a
basic land. So, showing that he might be a little flooded out. Alex takes 1 down to 17.
Right. Maybe James is tapping some mana to cast something here?
Yeah, looks like he's tapping...
He was going to tap 1, it looked like. Second thoughts?
As far as... I'm trying to think of any other good 1 red mana spells.
What did Legolas come down as before he got the +1/+1 counter?
Legolas is a 2/3, so now he's a 3/4.
A 3/4. That's pretty good.
Good stats. Good stats.
Be upset by that. All right, we're passing the turn back to Alex.
Turn. Maybe holding up some interaction.
Oh, I see that Lembas back in Alex's hand.
Yeah, Lembas is very good. So he's moving to combat. I'm just moving straight to combat. Swinging in for 3.
3 is huge, especially when you don't have a blocker.
Absolutely. And now, Alex gets to scry, and because he's scried and Legolas was tapped, it untaps.
Oh, so a little synergy there.
Exactly.
All right. Is that one of the themes you were talking about? You're saying something about like humans being a theme, is scrying a theme?
Scrying is a theme for this set. Like goblins and orcs are a theme.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Improvised club, instantly cleaning out the
elemental.
All
right. Now, because his creature died because he had to sack it, it looks like Legolas got a counter. Is that right?
Like Legolas got a counter.
Okay, interesting. That's going to put James a little bit more on the back foot, I think.
Exactly. And that's why he couldn't target Legolas with the improvised club. Because even though Legolas was at 4 toughness, having to sacrifice the... he could have sacrificed his mana rock, I guess.
Is this that bats you were talking about?
No, this isn't... Yeah, no, that's not the... It's not the Mirkwood bats.
Okay, well, it looks like James has been amassing again. He now has a 4/4 army.
Looks like it. 4/4 army's getting pretty big, though.
And Legolas is a 4/5 now?
Yep, Legolas is a 4/5.
With reach, reset.
With reach. Go to block any... See, yeah, it was a Duneland Cereburn. 3 mana, 1/1 flyer. When it ETBs, amass 2.
Okay. Alex is weighing his options.
His opponent is tapped out currently, so good time to do anything. Not having to worry about interaction.
Interaction being stuff like removal or things to kind
Removal,
of those
counter
effects.
spells, any of that stuff.
Okay.
Any way to, I guess, interact with his opponent.
Oh, there you go. Interesting. Looks like Alex is moving to combat. Swings with Legolas.
Swings with 4, so puts it Alex at 17. Oh, and there's Lembas.
And James is down to 13.
Yep. And Alex does get to scry, so he gets the untap on Legolas, and it decides he doesn't like it, puts it onto the bottom, and then draws a card. It looks like Elven Chorus.
Yep, that chorus is back. We were talking about how good this card was earlier.
Yes. Chorus is back.
Now, is Legolas the only one that untaps when he scries?
Yes.
Because Legolas has that ability.
Because Legolas has the ability. His
Interesting.
Wolf's Pathfinder does not have the ability.
I wonder if there's a way to give that ability to Wolf's Pathfinder in the set.
I don't know. Can you think of any examples, potentially?
No, but there's that Balrog we were talking about earlier.
Oh, man.
Quite the beater. All right, 7/5 we said?
7/5.
Hasty 7/5. Coming in, swinging in. See
Oh, it looks
crack
like-
in 7.
Alex might be trading out with Legolas. So,
No, he's taking the 7. He's down to 10.
She's going to take the full.
Alex is taking full retail on that life damage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really change his clock, right? He's dead in 3 Balrog swings anyways.
Including, yeah, sure. I can see that.
So might as well keep your Legolas around, keep incurring the value. You can keep, if you can make it bigger than the Balrog. Balrog's only 7/5.
Could he also move the ring to his Wolf's Pathfinder and then be able to kill the Balrog that way? Because he'd have 2 legendary creatures, right?
Yes, so they'd both be able to block.
All right, Alex is moving in. Brings James down to 9.
Opponent declares no blocks, so.
Is that Leechcraft, right?
That's Leechcraft.
So then the Balrog won't untap, is that right?
Yes, unless you remove a 1/1 counter.
Okay, Alex is consuming the bread.
He's eating. Nom 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 nom.
Lembas goes back into the library.
Yep, Alex is back up to 13. Alex is trying to scry. I think he's trying to shuffle up his deck so he can find a scry effect. Maybe a creature scry off the top of his library so he can cast it with like the Wolf Pathfinder. Gets the untapped Legolas so he doesn't have to take as much damage.
All right. Wolf does mean he has 3 mana. Pays 2.
Pays 2.
Another elf.
Another elf.
When it attacks, scry 2.
Yes. I think that's the scry 1 elf.
Oh, scry 1. Thank you.
Well, indubitably, my good man.
Indubitably is great. Let's
Indubitably.
go. James is on his turn. He plays what looks like a land.
Yeah, I played a swamp, and then played a black spell. I'm not done with that right away, actually. Orcish. No, Orcish. That is Isidore's favorite.
This is Sam's Desperate Rescue coming out from James.
Yep.
Turning.
Have to be put into the graveyard there. Turning that creature. Looks like. Ring tempts you, making his bird legendary.
So now his bird can't be blocked by Legolas. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. That seems pretty good. Gets around that reach that we were talking about.
He got to loot a card, so he got to discard another land that he had no need for. And takes 3 damage.
Okay, Alex is down to 9. James is at 8. James is in his second main.
Or post-combat main phase.
Realizing he has a card on board he doesn't need.
Yep. I do that all the time.
All the time.
Oh, a shocking amount.
Weighing his options before he passes. Oh, pace 2. No? Is he going to pass?
Potentially holding up an improvised club. It's the card I would think of right away.
Passes the turn. Alex untaps.
Untaps his stuff. Ross return. Top part of his library.
And he gets to do that because of that Elvish Chorus.
Because the Elvish Chorus.
It almost looked like that card on top was a creature.
Maybe. It might be. So I think that you're incentivized to attack here because you get the Scry and then it untaps Legolas in combat as well.
Oh, that seems pretty good.
Seems good. You get the counter on, or you don't get a counter on it, but you do get the untap. And if his opponent blocks, which they might have to, Alex has any tricks up his sleeve.
Weighing his options.
Options, thinking.
Sets the card back down, looks at the top.
See here. So Alex does have enough mana to activate the Wolf's ability, actually.
Moves to combat, swings with Legolas.
This with Legolas. So,
Army cannot block because Legolas is only at 4.
drops him down to 4. Alex has something in second main phase.
3/4.
That's a creature. This one's the ETB Scry 2, which will untap Legolas.
Untap Legolas, nice.
It's at the top 2. So he still has 4 mana to play with as well.
And it looks like he bottomed both of those cards.
Yep. Must not have been very good.
Right.
And passes the turn.
Is Wolf's Pathfinder 6 and tap it or 7 and tap?
7.
Okay, so he couldn't quite do it without having to tap down a different creature, right?
Without having to tap down the other creature, the one that he has.
He probably wants to keep that back in case he needs blockers.
Yep. Wosh 3 is 6 and a green. Tap another target creature gets +3/+3 and trample until end of turn.
Okay.
And he can do that at instant speed.
Let's see if James can get out of this situation and claim the match for himself. Or else it might go to game 3.
Be the first game 3 that we've seen so far this stream.
It's thinking, doing math.
Well, math is for blockers, so.
It's combat swings for 3. Scry.
Gets the loot.
Or loot. Yep.
Discards a.
Is that a Mount Doom?
That is a Mount Doom. I don't know if I would have discarded that card, actually.
Might like what he has in his hand.
And so Alex takes 4 because his opponent is at the max stage of the ring.
Oh, so instead of 3, it was actually 7. Or 6.
Yes, I believe so. Is that a Voracious Fell Beast? I think so. All right. Taps 3.
He had played the creature that we see all the way on the far side.
Yes. Obviously not the Balrog, but it's like, yeah, he played an Urk-hai Berserker. 3/2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you.
Okay.
So looks like he's
passes.
just passing up the turn.
What do you think might be coming out from Alex here?
I guess is a pretty big combat swing. I think Alex has James dead on board.
James has 2 creatures.
2 creatures.
Alex has 1, 2, 3, 4.
So he plays a land,
Plays the land for turn.
which is actually really good because now it means that he only has to tap down his lands and the Pathfinder to give a creature the pump.
Can he do the pump after declaring attacks?
He can actually do the pump after declaring blockers.
Looks at the top card.
Top card.
Combat.
Move to combat. Like, let's do this. Okay. Opponent improvises.
Ooh.
Oh, not an improvised club, but a different removal spell. It was the Smite the Deathless. That's why it went to exile. So he declares attackers.
Alex still has 7 mana open.
Still 7 mana. It's like he's got a 2/3, I want to say.
Does he have it here?
He might. Depends on how his opponent blocks. Let's see here. It's a 3/4. That is. So Alex might have it. I think he's thinking on what he wants to attack with. I think you got to swing in all in. Oh, is he swinging just with Legolas?
Is he trying to disrupt the board so that way he doesn't die on the crackback? Maybe get down with the defense a little bit.
So he's going to activate.
Now
Wolves.
activate Wolves.
Give Legolas +3,
Plus.
+3, and trample. Which should just quite easily be lethal.
Looks like he has it.
All right.
Right. Go on to game 3 of this match.
So exciting stuff seen from both our players so far.
Yeah, because game 1 was a bit of a no-show for Alex, right?
Yep, he was missing the blue mana for good chunk of the game, but ended up getting there in the end. Wasn't able to win, but he was able to start kind of putting on a show.
Sure, controlling the board state a little bit
Controlling
better.
the board state. So what are your thoughts? Do you think that playing limited with sleeves or no sleeves is the way to go?
I'll be honest, I'm a fan of playing without sleeves. With limited, it's just there's something about that magical experience that you get where you get to crack fresh cards, you get to smell of them all the time.
And you just get to instantly ruin them by riffle shuffling them?
That's fine. It's magic. The cards are meant to be played with. They're not a monetary item. Just play them.
The collectors.
The collectors, sure, they're not playing with collectors though. They're playing with draft boosters. They're meant to be played.
I mean, I think that if you pull like a nice mythic rare like Mount Doom, it's a couple bucks still.
Okay.
How much is Mount Doom actually? Let's take a look at TCG Player. Brought to you by TCG.
And if you live in the area, you can stop by the Forge and pick up your own copy today.
Even if you don't live in the area, we have a TCG Player affiliate or TCG Player web store.
Okay, very cool.
So you can buy. So even if you don't live in the area.
So if you wanted to find it, would you just Google search tcgplayer.com/theforgemn?
I would. That's what I would do.
Okay, seems pretty easy to do.
Pretty easy, pretty simple. The ripple shuffle hurts. I agree. I don't like seeing the ripple.
See, Liam understands my spirit here. You just gotta shuffle the haters away.
All right, how much is it? So Mount Doom is still sitting at $4 for just the base version.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I do want to. I do need a copy of Mount Doom for various other formats.
I had one in my pre-release.
Really? The pre-release is sitting at $10.99.
Not as my pre-release card. I had it.
Oh,
in my,
you had it in your kit for your pre-release.
I may have played a few pre-releases of this set. It was really fun. Alex plays a forest passes. All right, James has a swamp
James
for
is on
second
the-
land.
He plays the Rider. Would have been nice to have the Rider on one.
All right.
So Alex plays an island and passes. James plays a swamp and then moves to combat. So it's for one. Second main phase plays a.
This is a mass orcs, right?
Yes. Foray of Orcs. Should be in a Mass Orcs 2.
Where are they foraying to?
Are
they going here in 2?
I would.
All right.
Alright, so Alex plays the 4-2. When it dies, the ring tempts you. Not much value in chumping here, I'd say. If I'm blocking, I'd just take the full 3 damage.
So James's turn. Right?
Yes.
All right.
It's thinking.
Because he wants to try to get rid of that blocker, right?
Absolutely. For me, just go all in. Just swing out. Because, like, worst case scenario, your opponent blocks the army, right?
Right.
It's a creature token versus your permanent. You have ways to get the army to reamass orcs.
Okay. Well, he's casting something for free mana.
Playing the... Oh, he's becoming tempted by the ring. He's making the army tempted.
Okay. So then what is... So the ring bearer can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. So then that elk can't block, right?
Alex is forced to take the damage. Yes. Gets to create a treasure token off of something.
So it looks like James cracked in for 4.
Yep. It should have only been 3, I want to say.
Well, yep, you're right. Because he went from 19 down to... Because he attacked with the Rider once. And now
Yes.
Alex is cracking in for 4.
Deciding anything he wants to do in second main phase.
Leechcraft on the Orc army.
So this is something that I was going to talk about, but we didn't get a chance to. So he can choose to untap this army by removing a counter from it.
Oh, you're not required to always remove the counter. Only if you want to untap?
I don't believe so. If you want to untap, you have to remove a counter.
Looks like he is choosing to untap. He removes the counter.
Making it a 1/1.
Land return.
So with the army, it feels significantly worse to throw the leeches on there. Let's see. Butching Leechcraft. This creature would untap during your untap step and remove a +1/+1 counter from it. You do untap.
Balrog comes out, but it looks like Alex has the counter spell ready.
Oh, he did. He did have a counter. Very good. Found a way to deal with the Balrog.
That guy was giving him trouble last time.
Absolutely.
Alex untaps.
His dude is his ring bearer now. So he can crack in for 4, drops his opponent to 12.
Cracks in for 4, like Connor called.
So you can't remove a counter. It's specifically during your if this creature would untap during your upkeep step. for Leechcraft.
So it has to go past their turn back to you, and then it's untap,
Yep.
upkeep, then draw, right?
Yep. So looks like he does remove the counter just to unamass the orcs. Get rid of your army tokens. So that way, if you amass again, you don't have to worry about it being permanently tapped.
Oh, that's a nice way to get around that.
I think it was a good play.
Versus keeping it on
Versus-
the amassing and then losing that power you're
Exactly.
talking about.
Because you're gonna keep still losing power, and now it turns your amass cards into something better.
All right, James taps for 3.
And looks like we're amassing again.
Is that foray of orcs, you said?
Yes.
So are they going to Grandma's house?
Orcs have grandmas?
Really?
They do have.
This man asks if orcs have grandmas. Who do you think you are?
Somebody who's never actually watched Lord of the Rings.
Shame.
Or read Lord of the Rings. I got halfway through The Hobbit.
Well, the hobbits are the best.
I've heard conflicting opinions on that.
So he looks like he's tapping down these creatures, or is he returning them back to hand?
I think he might be returning it. It's like that one.
Oh, yep, it is returned back to hand.
Yeah, it looks like Horses of the Brunnen. Or should return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hand. Scry 1, the ring tempts you. Ooh, I think Alex gets the loot now. Because of his ring. He's on
Step
chapter
2. Okay. Moves to combat.
Moves to combat, swings 4.
Is it
Gets to
4
draw
or
cards. Or swings 7, actually, because that's a 3/4.
Oh, okay. So yep, swinging for 7.
4 damage. Gets a kill spell. Smite the...
Deathless?
Smite the Death. Or something like that. Something the Deathless. Drops his opponent down to 9.
James untaps, plays the Rider.
Is the Rider of Rohan. Still just a good card. When blockers are good.
You see that Woes Pathfinder in hand that Alex has?
So Alex does have the Woest Pathfinder in hand currently. Moves to combat, swings 3. His opponent takes it down to 6.
There should be an attack trigger on that, right?
No, I don't believe so. I don't think that.
Oh, because it's not his ring bearer. Okay.
It's not his ring bearer. His ring bearer died, and he plays the Wolf Pathfinder and he plays the Took again. So the Took is a good play here because now he gets the guaranteed. It forces his opponent, right? He's got to either block it, give his opponent the ring back.
Ooh, and Alex has 7 mana. Moves to combat. I think this might be it.
I think this is just it. He blocks the Took right there. He activates.
Gives
He
it
doesn't even
trample.
need to give it trample. And it looks like Alex Bowman takes round 2.
All right, so that means Alex is probably up there in the potential round 3, right?
Potential round 3 feature match. Very hype. Could be a good time.
What'd you like from this match so far?
I like to see different colors, right? We haven't seen white yet, or we haven't really seen white, but
Okay.
now we got to see a full Izzet, and now we got to see a full Rakdos deck.
Sure.
So, red, black. We got to see full Izzet, we got to see full Simic, and we got to see full Rakdos.
Well, I wonder if we can get Alex in here. Talk about that deck he just played.
Absolutely. I will go grab him.
Sounds good to me. Everyone just hold and bear with us one moment while Connor goes and grabs our winner.
So we are back with the winner of our round 2 feature match, Alex Bowman. Alex, how do you feel after that?
I feel stressed. That game 3, he got off to kind of a slow start. I noticed on turn 4.
Yep.
Right, or I guess turn 3. He was 1 away from casting that Balrog that destroyed me. I think both games in game 1
Yes,
and 2.
it was
Uh,
a very high impact card, you'd say.
Yes. So I kept a hand with the 2-mana counter spell, and then when it counters a legend, Ring Tempts You.
Tempts
I
you.
remember it off the top of my head. So I was talking with him on turn 3, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're 1 turn away, holding up 2 mana. I was like, oh, he's just 1 land away from casting that Balrog again. Oh my gosh.
You were gaslighting him into casting the Balrog?
I told him not to do it. I said, don't do it. And then He attempted to cast it, and I had that counter, and
You
I
had the
completely
counter.
swung the game. But those were insane close games. I think the whole time there's not really a clear winner until the end.
How do you feel about the way your deck is played? Have you been making any changes to it? Do you think that there's cards you would cut or swap out, or do you think that this is probably the best that this mid pile is going to be?
It's definitely the best that this can be. I have no other cards that even fit into the slot. Actually, I was on. I too drafted a Balrog, pack one, pick one. And I tried to go into sacrifice like my opponent was, and he obviously took all the sack cards, so I had to quickly move out of it into that blue-green deck, so I was really running low on just playable blue-green cards. The scrying has been immense, just fixing the top of my deck, making sure my draws are at least something. The Elven Chorus has surprised me in how good it's been. But, I think this deck, shockingly, I did not expect this coming in, can take this whole thing down.
What do you think probably the best card in this is? Like, what do you think the best or highest impact card in your experience has been so far?
It's definitely been the Elven Chorus, although, to be fair, that 2 mana dork that can pay 7.
Woe's Pathfinder?
Yes, Woe's Pathfinder, pay 7, give +3/+3 to trample. That has won me both games that I won in this round. It won me a game against Andre in round 1. So that one has surprised me, but I wouldn't have done it without the Elven Chorus anyway, finding those creatures to give me that mana. But I would say probably the Woe's Pathfinder is the shocking one.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the interview, and good luck in the 3rd round.
Thank you as well, Connie.
Welcome back to the Forge Store Championship for Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle-earth, a Magic the Gathering set. I'm Monty Python, the Holy Grail's Black Knight, and I'm joined here by Cowboy Curtis. Curtis, tell me about the game so far.
The games have been awesome so far. We've seen round 1, we saw Abzan tokens versus Is It Spells. Round 2, we saw Simic Scry versus Rakdos Sacrifice. And then in round 3, we have Simic Scry back with a mystery deck, Unknown.
By the way, if you understood that reference, go see an Afrobot. Whoa, I can't talk. An orthopedic. Wow, I really can't talk now. I've been so good up until right now.
I know.
I just want to say go get checked out by a doctor because that song came back out in the early 2000s, and guess what? You're over 20 years old.
I'm not.
I mean, if you were old enough to hear the song, Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail's Black Knight, Fernando Mussolini and the Blue Meanie.
I understood the Monty Python. I know about Mussolini.
We don't have the license. We probably shouldn't sing it.
So you can start singing.
No.
Yeah, we don't have the license. All right, it looks like they're starting off. Lucas won the die roll, so it looks like he's playing a forest pass. We've got two green decks here.
Okay, and Lucas is our player on the right.
Lucas is our player on the right. Alex is our player on the left.
And we had Alex last game.
All right, looks like we are in. So Lucas plays a Plains as land for turn. Or at least in.
Was that a misplay?
Looks like it was a misplay. Trying to revealing some information. Alex knows.
I think Lucas might have a Rosie in hand. I think that's what he meant to play in original.
But he couldn't even play that because Rosie's 3.
And I think he realized that when he was trying to pick back up the bird, he was like, oh.
So Lucas is playing a Great Hall of the Citadel. So he can. Oh, Lucas is in Abzan.
Is that Denethor?
Denethor. At the beginning of your end step, if you sacrificed a creature, create a 1/1 white soldier dude. And then you get a then he's a sacrifice outlet. You can pay 2 and sacrifice a thing. Pay 2, sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses a life and you gain a life.
Alex moves to combat, is blocked by Denethor.
Yep. I think he just wanted the Scry trigger on that card.
Looks like it. Creatures bounce off Scry off the Lembas.
Those Lembas. Looks at the top card.
I see a Legolas counter of kills in hand.
Yep. And he's deciding whether or not the cards he's gonna bottom it. And draw a card off of the Lembas. And he's saying go, shipping the turn.
All right, let's see what Lucas has for turn 4. Never land.
Plays a swamp. Swings with Denethor. Takes 2. Or Alex takes 2.
And Denethor's ability only triggers when a creature under his control died that turn.
Yep, it has to be that turn, and it has to be his control. At the beginning, and it's at the beginning of his end step.
Wait, is this Faramir?
This is Faramir. Makes dudes, I think.
Just like any old dudes, or like one white human soldier?
White 1 white human soldiers. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, draw a card. Remember, and then whenever the ring tempts you, you chose a creature other than Faramir, field commander as your ring bearer, create a dude.
Okay. Well, so there's a neat little synergy there. They
Neat
both
little
trigger on the end step if a creature died under your turn.
Yep, you got death triggers. All those death triggers matters. Dot deck.
Okay.
I think dot deck is probably incorrect.
If they're dying and they're gaining advantage, would you? How do you get advantage? Do you just pay taxes then?
I don't pay taxes.
So it's not death and taxes.
Because you're not taxing anything.
Okay.
I'd say it's kind of a sacrifice. You're playing like aristocrats. Looks like Alex plays the Legolas, counter of kills.
Showing the opponent the card so he has time to read it.
Just assume your opponents know what the cards do.
As a reminder to our audience, Legolas counter of kills has reach, and whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Legolas, and if you scry, untap Legolas.
So getting +1/+1 counters in the death mat against the aristocrats deck seems really good.
Because Lucas will want his creatures to die, and
Yes,
Legolas benefits off of
and
it.
Alex also wants Lucas's creatures to die.
Okay. Alex takes 3.
Takes 3 from Fafnir.
All right, our life is 15 to 20. Did you say Fafnir? That's a dragon, my man. That's Faramir.
Fafnir's not a dragon.
Fafnir's a dragon.
So Lucas plays a spirit summoning, creates 2 tapped 1/1s.
So got another spell to play?
So he's activating his ability.
Oh, okay.
So he's
So Legolas will get a counter.
Legolas will get a counter. He's gonna get
He's gonna have 2 triggers on end step. He'll get to draw a card and get a tapped 1/1 white soldier. Or an untapped. Thank you, Liam. Fafnir is a space marine. He's a North. Yeah, I think Fafnir's from Norse mythology. Sounds about right.
All right, Alex is weighing his options.
I think we are a Magic the Gathering district. I don't really know too much about Norse mythology.
What's 40K? You said the word. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, it's Warhammer 40K.
Oh.
Warhammer 40,000. The Warhams. So Alex is deciding whether or not he wants to do anything. Deciding if he's making moves.
Is there any reason why he shouldn't just sit and wait?
Because you don't really want the opponent with the Aristocrats deck to just be able to churn value without putting any pressure.
All right, Alex moves to combat.
So he's gonna scry on tap Legolas, which is good. Gives pseudo vigilance. Alex is tapping 3.
Let's do the conies.
Let's do the convoy. I'm just playing a combat trope, right? And gives +1/+3.
Yep, combat damage to target creature.
And that's 2 creatures his opponent controls dies. So there should be 2 more counters onto Legolas.
Yep, Alex is saying Denver died.
So it gets
And
8
Alex
plus one
is
plus one
his
counter.
creature.
Yes.
Alex will get him food. Lucas is down to 18 and 21.
Not too big of a swing, but the value engine is gone, which is the big thing that Alex needed to worry about.
If Denther was staying around for much longer, it'd start to get really inconvenient, to say the least.
Sure, and then Alex will effectively be at 21 if he decides to crack, or 20 if he cracks those food, right? The Lembas and the food tokens.
Yes, he's got effectively 6 extra life, but realistically, he's only got 3 extra life because he can only use one of the 2 right now.
Okay.
So that's Saruman.
Saruman. Is it Saruman or the Necromancer?
I think that's that is Sauron the Necromancer.
It is Sauron, the Necromancer.
4/4 menace. When it attacks, exile target creature card from your graveyard. Create a tapped and attacking token. That's a copy of that card, except it's a 3/3 black wraith with menace. At the beginning of the next end step, exile that token unless Sauron is your ringleader.
Okay.
So it can be kind of a bomby ringleader, it's like.
Alex is weighing his options.
And it looks like Alex did crack the token food copy. So he's at 17. Not sure if Alex has a ton going for it.
Did you say Sauron the Necromancer exiles at the beginning of the end step or sacrifices?
At the beginning of
It's exile. It is not a sacrifice trigger.
So Dennifer wouldn't, Faramir wouldn't see the Dennifer token leaving the battlefield.
no, because he's not sacrificing. He's
Exile.
exiling.
Right. Alex moved to combat, attack the Legolas. Lucas takes 3 or 4, from 18 down to 14.
There's a dude, untap Legolas, scry 2. That's the 3/4 scry 2. And then he's gonna tap.
Oh, good.
Leechcraft.
The
Sauron.
Leechcraft. Card's insane.
Well, we said earlier, removing a +1/+1 counter is just so hard, especially if you don't have any synergy in your deck that gives it to the creature.
Exactly.
Effectively, that creature's out of here.
Once you have a way to Samwise Gamgee.
Right? Double Reanimator, huh? So we have Temporary Reanimator by creating the exiled token, and Samwise can also just bring back naturally, right? With food?
Yes, sacrifice 3 foods, I believe, is the magic number.
All right, well, as of right now, Lucas has no food. He's going to be a hungry boy.
3 is a magic number. That's a Schoolhouse Rock reference, I think.
Is this a Rider of Westmarch coming down from Lucas?
Does look like it. Yeah, it should be Rider of Westmarch. Yeah, and Samwise is sacrifice 3.
Okay.
As return target, historic card from your graveyard to your hand.
And because he had a non-token creature come in, that's why he has a food token now?
Yes.
So now Lucas is going to be incentivized to keep casting non-tokens
Yep.
in the hopes of getting Denethor back.
Yes.
So Alex is going to be looking for that Wolf's Pathfinder. Moves to combat, looks like.
Yep, swings out. I think that Legolas has 3 counters on it? 2 or 3.
All right, putting the creatures in front of the Scry Elf.
Not the best Scry Elf, but this one is a Scry Elf.
All right, Lucas will take 4.
down to 14, and Legolas gets 2 more counters.
Yep.
So he's
So why didn't his creature untap that time?
because he did not scry.
I thought whenever that other elf attacked it.
No, that was the ETB elf.
Oh, okay.
The one that just died was the ETB elf.
Now I understand.
Alex is looking at figuring out something to do here. He's thinking. Looks like he's tapping 2. Casting a card that I have no idea what that card is.
Looks like he's returning the creature from his graveyard to his hand.
Seems good. Tap 2. Replay the creature. That's the Scry elf.
Okay.
When it attacks Scry.
When it attacks Scry. Looks like the ring's tempted him.
Ring has tempted him. He's going to. Maybe not. Looks like the ring did not tempt him. So Legolas is tapped down, which is kind of an opening for Lucas to go in. And something that Lucas could do with his aristocratic deck is find a way to sacrifice Sauron the Necromancer. Wizard's Rockets.
Is that Bill the Pony?
That is Bill the Pony, the best magic card in existence.
And Bill creates 2 food.
He'll create 2 foods.
And then Sam's going to see Bill enter and make another food, right? So Lucas should be at 4.
Yeah, 5, because he had 1 already. 2 from Bill, 1 from Sam. Oh no, he should be at 4.
Yeah, and it looks like Alex flashed Lucas to 4 too to say, hey, you're going to be at 4.
After this,
For blockers.
much thinking for me.
Okay. Lucas moved to attack and dealt 1 damage to Alex.
Yep. So Alex goes to untap. Upkeep, draw. Oh, Tom Bombadil Song. It's like to be the mystery card in Alex's hand. One of the mystery cards.
Alex is at 6 mana. Bless you. Bless you again. Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah.
All right.
We're balling. So Scry-Off is a really good attacker. Not great as an attacker into Build a Pony, but it does untap Legolas. I think the wins are already good, I guess.
Well, I'm thinking one of the issues that Alex is going to be worried about is that even if he kills one of his creatures, one of Lucas's creatures, then Lucas can just bring it back as of right now. Right?
Yes,
So he's going to need to try to incentivize Lucas to burn some of those treasure.
Some of those foods.
Or yeah, there you go, food.
Food is a treasure, though. I would say.
All right, tax Scry,
Oh,
untaps the Legolas, weighing his options.
that's the bottom it. He's gonna throw Build a Pony in front.
Okay. Remove the food, make Bill
Sack of food.
a 4/4.
Yeah, effectively a 4/4. So take 6 down to 4.
That's a pretty good number. Passes the turn.
He's got all his mana open.
All right, yep, passes the turn. Lucas untaps.
He upkeeps. He draws. Couple cards in hand for Lucas. There's a
Ministera.
There's turf. Minister. Draw land.
Yep, so if you attack with 2 or more creatures, you can pay 2 and a white and tap this. Okay.
He's gonna sack 3 foods.
Bring back
Right.
Denethor. It's to his hand, right?
Yes, it does not return to back.
I bet we're going to see him pretty soon here.
Hmm?
Yep, there's the Denethor.
Is that a 4 mana? No, he's not.
Lucas also has an untapped Wizard's Rocket in the mana base there.
Don't actually know what that is.
I believe it's a mana fixer, so you can pay mana into it, crack it, and then make mana of the color you need.
Oh, very nice. Just when to build a pony, it looks like.
What was this creature that Lucas just
Oh,
played? It looks
that
like a
is-
halfling farmer.
Yes, it's the one that makes his gives +X/+X, where X is the number of creates a food on ETB and then does the second effect. I think halfling farmer is actually good. All right, it's Earthfathing Farmer. Earthfathing Farmer. Swings with Build a Pony. Cracks a food. It's a bigger. Gonna crack his Lembos.
Cracks on this. Goes up 3 life. Fake a connect for a reminder.
Lucas has a lot of creatures. Alex needs a way to find a way to punch through. Because it almost doesn't really matter. So, moves to combat. Alex swings. Lucas has to block, otherwise he's just dead.
Force to trade. And because it's not Lucas's turn, but because it's Alex's turn, when his creatures die, he doesn't get any triggers off of Faramir or Denfor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, hand shuffling. Yeah, that's you can tell these guys are professionals. So,
Plays another Scry Elf.
yep. This one's the ETB Scry 2.
Scry 2, okay.
Untaps Legolas. Crazy that's. I mean, the Legolas kind of kills.
Yeah, him and I think there's a Gimli too, right?
Yes.
For all you Commander players at home, pseudo partner, talk to your play group. Anyways,
I absolutely. So I was actually gonna build those as partners. We need to get a Temur fun deck.
Lucas untaps. Is this game round
2.
1?
This is game 2.
This is game 2.
Alex won game.
Okay.
If I'm remembering correctly. Actually, wait. This might be game 1.
It's been a long game.
Been a long game, I think.
Is this the bird?
What is this game 1?
I think this is the bird.
Bird. Bird might be the word.
Say Republic, if you are just getting back into Magic the Gathering, now is the best time. We're experiencing a lot of great set design, especially if you're a limited player. Commander is also extremely popular right now, and I think some of the competitive scenery is kind of thriving a little bit too.
Absolutely. Pioneer RCQs have been. Pioneer RCQs are finishing up, and then we're gonna get modern RCQs here soon.
Moving on to attacks. Earthfaring Farmer and Build a Pony are the attacks. Legolas blocking Bill, but has flying because of the bird.
But Legolas has reach, so it doesn't matter.
Lucas is realizing that. Burning the treasure.
Burning a food because he wants to swap the power and toughness. But then Build a Pony just dies, and then Alex gets another counter on to Legolas.
Sure. So we have 2 triggers later on at the end of the turn. All right, moving on to the end step.
Yes, Wilds of Eldraine is being released as well. I am extremely excited. Lance is not as much, as far as I know.
So Alex is going to untap.
He will upkeep, he will draw. The Legolas has 6 counters on it right now.
It's a full die. Island per turn.
Looking, he's staring down Lucas's board.
Is Lucas back to 3 food or just 2?
Just 2 food.
Okay. So he can't quite recur
No
Bill out.
Cannot.
But yeah, Bill and Samwise is kind of a nasty combo just because you get instantly to that 3 food tokens like you were talking about.
Yeah. So you can instantly recur Danthor or so swings with Legolas.
Force the attack.
Force the blocks.
Put some Trump in front.
Yep. Yes.
Resolving
Taking
damage. Yep. Okay. So
Does
Legolas
not-
will go up.
Does not decide to use Danthor ability there, which is interesting. I would have, but
Lucas pays 2 mana.
okay, he does use it Danthor before damage. Alex is tapping 3/5. That's a blue card. Blue Magic the Gathering card. Horses of the Beginning.
Of the
Horses
Bruin?
of the Bruin. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. Scry 1, ring tempts you.
That's a sorcery speed spell.
It is a sorcery speed. It is a sorcery speed spell.
Okay.
So what 2 creatures do you think Alex should return here?
I'm not entirely.
It's tough because
Do you just do Sam Faramir? No, you just do Sam Denethor, right?
I think you returned a token as well.
Yep. It was a 1/1.
I think returning the tokens is smart. So that way you can't just permanently don't get value.
And then Legolas or the other elf will be the ring bearer.
I would imagine the
other
other elf. Can be blocked with 3 power. Oh, actually, like Alex is changing his mind, reassigning. Legolas.
All right, passes back to Lucas. Lucas taps.
That remains tapped.
Reading the cards, figuring out has to put a counter on Saruman. Saruman didn't answer. My apologies.
I'm actually surprised that Lucas hasn't just sacrificed that to Danforth.
Well, he'll need to get Denethor back up before he can.
Alex.
8. He's counting.
Probably trying to cast multiple spells, do some things. I have to imagine. It's been grindy. This has been a very grindy game so far.
What are some of the options that are probably going through Lucas's head right now?
So replay Danforth is
Sure.
the first. I think that's it's priority numero uno. They're going Samwise. Should trigger Samwise Genji. Should get a food back.
Get some food, yep.
So now, if it were me, I would sack Sauron to Danforth. Drain 1, gain 1.
Does Denethor need to tap in order to do that, though?
No, he does not.
Okay.
There's just a static ability with the end step trigger as well. So, like he is doing that.
Okay,
He
sacking.
did see the line because now he can return Sauron the Necromancer back to his hand.
Sure. So we have 2 delayed triggers, both from Faramir and Denethor.
Yep.
Move City on step, gets the card draw.
Gets a card draw. Gets a 1/1 white human soldier creature token.
Alex will untap.
Draw for turn. So it's like Tom Bombadil's Song, right? Is the other?
Yep.
There's one of the cards in his hand, and then what is the other card? Can't quite tell.
It's combat.
Swings out.
We're still on step 1 of Alex's ring.
Yep. So he can just chump. So Lucas can just chump away. And he's throwing down 4 in front of the other one. And tap 2, tap 4. Stay. Yeah, the card that Alex just drew. What do we got here? And see what this card is?
I don't, not off the top of my head.
Like that one is Ent Fury?
Okay.
Oh, gives it. No, not Ent Fury, because that's sorcery speed. Gift of Strands.
All right. Gets +3/+3.
Yeah. And when it ETBs, scry 2.
Interesting. Believe this is still game 1 of round 3.
Tom Bombadil's Song coming in clutch for Mr. Bowman. Plays around the allows him to play around the targeted removal. And he's gonna change his ring bearer. But Alex is down to no. But Mr. Bowman is down to no cards in hand. In a long game 1.
All right. Lucas plays a Shire Terrace for land for turn.
He's gonna crack 3 foods, return Sauron the Necromancer, it looks like. Build a pony.
Maybe Bill. Yep.
And cast Build a Pony.
Bill Nye, the Science Pony.
Bill Nye, the pony. Step 4. He's going to gain 2 food tokens. He's probably going to use those to now grab Sauron the Necromancer.
Or Denethor.
Danthor.
Yep, Denethor.
Denfor. Okay. Step
All right.
3.
Recast Denethor.
Cast Denfor. Get a food token.
So Lucas should be back to 2 food tokens, right?
Correct.
All right.
Effectively at 9 life.
Or 12.
He does not have the mana to use both of them, so
Sure. I see what you're saying.
He's not
Got it.
realistic.
He can make himself at 9.
he can make himself at 9. He's going to swing for 1 in the air. And now he's forced to decide if he's going to sack it to Danfor or not.
Alex will block it.
Looks like he chooses not to. And yeah, that'll trigger. So it's a risk-free attack. I mean, the only thing is, Legolas gets just massive. Alex moves to con. Looks like he's moving to counter. Looks like he's swinging out. 6/7 and a very, very large Den of 4.
Yeah, Legolas has what, 11 counters on it?
Yes, 11 counters, making it a 13-14. Throw that there. Throw those there.
And I believe Bowen has a spell that changes the power and toughness of his creature to make it a 5/5.
Yes, I believe so. Base power and toughness 5/5, so it'd make it even bigger. Make it an 8/8 effectively. Chooses not to use it. Actually, I don't think that's the spell that he has in hand. Otherwise, he would have cast it. So,
He's casting something.
He's casting? Oh, Lost Isle Calling.
All right.
Whenever you scry, put a counter on Lost Isle Calling. So, looks like a pretty tough spot for Alex right now. Luckily, his opponent is down to 0 food tokens.
Looks like Lucas still has both of them. He just has them off to the side now.
It's a very large creature.
That Old Man Willow.
That Old Man Willow is very, very, very big.
And we said power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control.
Yep. So it looks like
Sam sees a creature that's a non-token enter, so Sam brings food to number 3.
so that is the magic number. He's gonna move to combat. Swing out. He's gonna sacrifice the food to Bill.
All right.
All right.
That's the end of game 1, we
It's the
believe.
end of game 1.
Quite the game.
Quite the game. Quite long.
I was gonna say, then with those death and taxes strategies or those aristocrat strategies, that causes games to kind of run a little bit longer, become a little bit more grindier, right?
Absolutely. As somebody who is an avid enjoyer of that style of deck, it's fun to see it pop off. Looks like Lucas got a lot of powerful rares and uncommons as well.
Okay.
Always a good thing to have for draft.
And those grindier matches just mean that the games take a little bit longer, then, right?
Absolutely.
Trying to out attrition the opponent.
Yep. You're not trying to win with just pure combat damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Alex was lacking in some card draw there. Or some like ways of recursion, I suppose.
Right. Okay, so as they shuffle up, what are some of the things that you're going to be, if you're Alex in this situation, what are some of the things you're looking to try to take advantage of in this next game?
I think I'm trying to look at the fact that his opponent's creatures are a lot smaller. So your creatures don't really have to worry. They generally have pretty free attacks as far as things go.
Okay.
You're not worried about losing your creatures to combat damage a lot, most of the time.
Sure. Obviously, Bill, very, very good.
Bill, very good card. Like I was saying, earlier, Bill is just nuts. ETB, get 2.
I don't even think that was what the issue was because he had both Sam and Bill.
It was just
So it was always an instant able to return Bill if it ever died.
absolutely, and so it was able to make Bill just a really good blocker and a really good attacker as well.
Yeah, demonstrating a value loop.
Exactly. Having Bill and Sam at the same time, very powerful. Looks like Alex has 2 lands in hands.
Ooh, it's free.
I believe it's 2 or 3. He's got lands, he's got spells, it looks good to me. It looks like he's deciding to keep his hand while Lucas is mulliganing to 3 or to 6.
And then because Lucas will be on the draw, he doesn't see as much of an issue with this, right?
No, you can mulligan extremely aggressively on the draw. OTD versus OTP.
Is that on the draw and on the play?
Yeah.
Looks like Alex is talking to Lucas about Legolas.
But, yeah. Yeah, Legolas got a million counters there, but it's just wasn't quite enough to push him over the edge.
All right, offers a cut.
Alex cuts. All right.
I see a Frodo in hand from Lucas.
Yes. It's a Frodo Baggins. Card that we did not see game 1.
All right, Alex Poison Island passes.
He's got the...
Oh, takes it back. Now forced.
Forced.
Just a navigator.
This is the Watcher.
Watcher. Nimrod.
Yeah, Nimrod Watcher. Plus 1 spell and can be blocked.
All right. Frodo Baggins enters the battlefield on Lucas's side, becomes a ring bearer. That's my question for you.
I suppose I will answer my own question because this is the first time that I have actually ever seen this card. Protobagons, when ETBs or another legendary creature ETBs ring tempts you, and as long as it's your ring bearer, must be blocked if able. So Alex plays the Limb Boss.
And because it must be blocked if able to, it forces Alex to block it even if he doesn't want
Even
to.
if he doesn't want to.
Okay, interesting. So would Lucas be incentivized to increase the power of Frodo to keep kind of baiting in blocks?
Absolutely. And there's Rosie Cotton of Southwood.
All right. Food enters. Rosie says that whenever a token enters the battlefield, you get a counter on target non-Rosie creature.
Non-legendary creature. Yeah, a non-Rosie creature. You are correct.
Okay. Or a creature other than Rosie.
Creature other than Rosie. So Alex is going to tap 4. He's going to play the Scry 2 Elf.
All right. Sharing the ring mechanic token so everyone knows what it does.
Yep. So Frodo's on 2 right now. So he's going to swing for 3. Cannot be blocked.
Yeah, can't be blocked. Will help win the match.
Absolutely. On both sides. So if Lucas can keep playing legendary creatures, it's going to be kind of rough because...
Well, he doesn't have that Faramir in hand, so I think he's got it.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a Faramir and 2 other legend. So he's going to play a Spirit Summoning.
This is
Make
the
2 tokens.
Okay.
He's going to make 2 tapped 1/1 flying. And he's going to get 2 more counters on 2 same one.
Because they're tokens.
Because they are tokens.
And Rosie cares just if they're tokens, not their food.
Draw a card. Discard a card.
It's going to be kind of hard to deal with because now Frodo's really big, right?
Yes. Say Frodo is now... He's got 3 counters on it.
It's what, a 4/7?
Yeah. 4/6.
A 4/6.
Discards and Eagles. Alex is forced to block. So forced to block. Even
Jumps.
Has to.
Yep. Untap.
Upkeep. Draw.
Now, is the Nimrodel Watcher only unblockable if you've scryed this turn, or is it always unblockable?
Only unblockable if you scry this turn. So, tap in 4. Okay, so he gets the 3/3 boost.
Yep.
It's an unblockable.
6 is him.
6 is him. So he's only gonna realistically, but he's only gonna take 3.